Hello everybody. I thought I'd try and find a new angle I can speak to you at where I'm not moving the camera around and doing stupidness. Just been to Leicester, as you know, had a great time. Thanks to everyone who was there. Definitely not a wasted journey. With that video as well, I just wanted to say that I've just had a look through the news and stuff, and I've sort of been avoiding, hitting the main topics because I didn't really want to be such a generic fool that really falls into these sort of stories and stuff. And I think that there is some different sort of plays behind the scenes at UK reform, and I don't want to hear about it. I don't care about it, even though I do love Farage to a certain extent. I never trusted him because of his sort of financial dealings, and he plays the market and stuff, and he's worth quite a lot of money. So he's probably got a lot of assets, and he manages a lot of assets that could be affected by his decisions with him being in government or opposition. And just always gave me a bit of an odd feeling about Farage. He's quite an odd character in that sense. Brave, but he's a lovely guy. Nothing personal, nothing about him personally. I just mean that for the country, I think that people can interpret how they want, whether he would be better for the country because of his profession, and I didn't believe that. I think that his friends are probably massive bankers, and they're all traders, and they're all London Stock Exchange guys and stuff like that. But then you've got Rupert Lowe, who I 100% agree with and really do like, but I don't know his history as a politician, don't know whether he's capable or liked enough by enough people. And because we've had this split in UK reform, and I was already halfway there already, I am going straight for UK Independent Party, which I previously thought were a bit extreme for me. But as we've seen, what is extreme now, when the left-wing organisers set up massive parades and start smashing and vandalising banks and start smashing, vandalising statues, it's perfectly, within their rights to do that. But when the right-wing organisers gets investigated, they have undercover agents, and they do everything they can to slander everyone involved in it straight away and somehow justify the public witch hunt, which often occurs, where you see even the Conservative Party suffered a lot of vandalism, in the last election and stuff like that. But I didn't really like the Conservatives. I just hope that they were holding up to their Conservative values for the sake of the country. I'm quite a liberal person, but I've seen, the damaging side of being, what's the word, lovey-dovey, feely, lovely people. He's only inviting the worst and meanest criminals in the world to come and set up here, because we are no way a match for them. And that's what we've seen. So there's a guy called Nick Tenconi. I think he must be Italian as well, somewhere. Looks a bit like me as well. He's got a bald head, and he does a lot of things like me. And say that I'm not sure whether he's an MP or not, but he's some sort of member of the UK Independent Party, Ukip, and I'm just backing him to the fullest. I encourage you to do your own research on Nick Tenconi. He does a lot of things, even with a megaphone, just like me. I don't know whether he's been doing it first. He probably has, to be honest. He seems like a very well put together guy, the sort of guy that I would follow. And you know what I'm like, as a person, you really have to thrash me at something for me to really be inspired and just, like want to be taught by you. That's the sort of kid I am. I'm a very cocky kid, and I don't mind losing to be taught a lesson. I love learning a lesson from someone, smarter or stronger or, just more experienced than me. But Nick Tenconi does seem that sort of guy where he's got everything set up right. He's a politician. He must have been educated well. He must have done a lot of work. I've not looked into his background, but the latest things that I've been seeing him doing, going and disrupting, these far left groups and these NGOs and stuff. We are quite within our rights to protest in the UK, and I will be certainly willing to be part of his, army of organisational people like me who aren't working, or straight white males who just feel they're not being listened to, maybe even take a day off work just to go and represent ourselves in public events and start, turning up and making sure that we don't get, infiltrated or, anything like that, and really keep it. It doesn't have to be straight white males. It can be anyone can join. It's not just that, but I'm just saying there seems to be a large demographic of people that aren't allowed to even dare organise together through fear of being sacked. And now they're bringing out laws where you can't cover your face in public unless you're part of Palestine or BLM or anything like that. Then obviously there's nothing going to be enforced. But obviously if we came out as the UK Independent Party, we would probably be shut down as some sort of terrorism unit. They'd probably find some email, would have probably WhatsApp groups that have been generated, and God knows what would happen, and that we would have the whole system against us. But in the end, when it comes to numbers, nothing can stop that, and that's what we've seen from the left, isn't it? You know, I don't think the police necessarily wanted to be bowing the knee or anything. They just knew, you know, that there would be violence. They knew that they didn't have the manpower if they provoked the crowd. So I'm not going to, like, you know, judge the police too much, because I think it doesn't matter who was there with that sort of, you know, numbers advantage over the system. I don't think that anything would happen to anyone in that situation. So when I look at the Million Man March and I look at these massive events that have occurred and these sort of socially engineered or social media generated revolutions, or, you know, social cultural revolutions and stuff like that, I don't know whether they're good or not. I'm not that informed. I'm definitely not a revolutionary type of guy. I don't want to disrupt any sort of services or order or laws. I just don't think it's good, because in the end it'll just be gangsters in control or something worse. So I'm definitely not about upsetting the system or disrupting the system at all. I would like to work within the system, within the laws, and do what we are allowed to do by the law, and turn up in numbers as people, stand there and have very strict conduct about how we conduct ourselves. But at the same time, we need a media branch. We need all the different branches that they've got. You know, Antifa have got different blocks and this and that. And I think that we need to start thinking about this, because we're getting seriously outskilled and outmaneuvered in every aspect of public image, in publications, in funding, in recruitment, in education, in frameworks and skills and groups and clubs and local grassroots sort of work, promoting our political ideologies and our, you know, equality for all. In principle, we thought would be upheld, but as we've seen with the infiltration of the civil service and the infiltration of our local councils and the infiltration of many of our key governmental power structures, have been turned against us, and they've been infiltrated by Marxist trained activists, radicals, who are hell-bent and getting a sadistic kick out of destroying us, gaslighting us, and then punishing us. No matter what we say, no matter what we do, it will always end and be turned back on us, because they've got a louder voice and a bigger chorus. And I'm not bothered anymore, you know. So I will be trying to get my driving license sorted out. I'll be visiting more cities. I just spoke to a very good friend from the Islamic community, and it's during Ramadan, and he said to me, no, go round now. So I wanted to approach the community. I've been given half a nudge, say, yeah, just go and see them, see what they're doing. I think they'll appreciate you going to see them, to show the other side of it. Because I mean, I'm well integrated into the Islamic community in Nottingham, and I've never seen any sort of badness, to be fair. I've got a lot of love for the ones that I know anyway. Although, you know, maybe it's because of the way that I treat them as well, that, you know, we get along so well, or maybe it's because I'm not English and they know that I'm Italian, and, you know, maybe it's that. I don't know, but there is definitely a lot of content that I need to start generating to do with communicating with the men from that community, the women from that community, and the religious and community leaders from that community, where I can ask these difficult questions that everybody wants to ask. Because they know I'm not a racist, you know, they know that I've got a lot of love and respect for their culture and whatever it is that they care about, you know, as long as they've got the same respect for mine, or, you know, that's just normal stuff. It doesn't matter where somebody's from or what community it is. It just seems that that particular community is particularly difficult to address in a public way, you know, and I'm going to address that as well and say, why can't I come and ask these questions? Why do I feel like somebody from some other city who doesn't know me is going to take offence or put pressure on the people here to not allow me to question it? You know, that's where it sort of gets, like, on a personal level, I think there's no issues in England at all in diversity. Everybody's got mixed friends nowadays. Everybody's grown up around mixed schools and stuff. It is all mixed, and everybody represents themselves pretty well. And I think that any segregation is self-enforced, and that's the freedom of the world. But to blame the English communities for not, you know, for not being flexible, I think they've been flexible enough now. I think it's time to ask other communities now to show us their good hearts and show us, you know, their faith in England and faith in our community, and to see what, you know, admissions or, you know, or promises coming forward, or, you know, sort of building bridges in terms of communication to put the record straight, you know, and not to really, just to give them opportunity to represent themselves in a better way. Because, like I say, when everybody talks about it, the only people that respond are the extremists. That's what I've noticed. When anybody ever talks about the Muslim community, the only people that ever respond are the extremists. That's the only sort of response. It's usually violent, or, you know, something derogatory, or something that's, you know, not addressing the issue of the person who's asking it, and rather just accuse somebody of having demons in their heart, or, you know, open up your heart to other side or whatever, and you've got no heart and this and that. And they seem to be very very obvious that they're avoiding the questions that I'm asking, but we'll see. And I'll tread cautiously. I thought that during Ramadan it probably not be a good time, but I'm assured that it's probably the best of time to do it when people are really spiritual and they're really thinking about, because, like I said to him, as Christians we do the same with Lent, don't we, you know? I've always had an issue with eating and sleeping during this time of the year. I don't know whether it is anybody else that feels these rhythms and these sort of feelings. I'm quite an intuitive person, quite a psychic-y sort of person. I've always been a bit that way. And without even realising it, I've always seen April as the start of my year, because, you know, that's when my birthday is. But it just made more sense to me. And then you read into it and you find out about the calendars and how they were changed, and the calendars that we use are obviously imposed by the Romans and stuff like that, and how it used to be run by the Lunars, and then people call you a pagan, or they say different things about you. But in actual truth, I do go on a bit about a lot of stuff, you know. I'm not just a one-dimensional person who's just focused on politics, or just focused on, you know, England, or immigration, or, you know, the economy, or, you know, housing, social repairs, or, you know, rap music, or, you know, stabbings. There's lots of things that people can talk about, and I really don't like to be a pigeonholed person that people can just write off as one thing. You know, I've done lots of different things in my life as a point to myself. You know, you can only try things when you're young, and I've sacrificed my security as a result. As an old man, I'll probably die a poor man as a result of me exploring and finding out what makes me feel ways, or, you know, exploring the world and finding out every side of the coin. And that's what I've done throughout my whole of my life. That's what my entire life has been about, you know, to see all the sides of the coin. What makes people happy, what makes people sad, and why it makes them sad. Some people will be happy there, some people, it's their nightmare, you know. Some people really enjoy that life, some people don't. What I really hate is when people look at other people's lives, and because they wouldn't like it, they think that that person's unhappy. But, you know, no one's really happy. That's what you must understand. Happiness is not a constant state based upon material things or anything. We're all emotional, we're all, you know, responsive to our environments, and I enjoy every emotion every day, and keeping the same level. There is only a few times where you may, you know, lose control of the levels, and it may start getting a bit more wavy up, but that's how life is, isn't it? You know, nothing's ever the same. Nothing that's good lasts for long, and nothing that's bad, luckily, also doesn't last for long. And it's for us to live it and experience it for however long we're here, no matter what happens afterwards. But there is no doubt in my mind, anyway, that there is something special about this planet. There's something special about this moment, in every single moment that we live. And I'm just here to try and find a way where we're not divided and at war for stupidity, and we can all live along. But we all must be honest. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, say, when I go on the internet, I hear lots of racism from people on the internet, N-word this, N-word that, like it's a big joke and stuff. They probably never say it in real life. So a lot of the patriots that I hear, you know, I mean, they were saying, oh, why don't you ask British people when I'm interviewing British people, but they don't have the same skin colour as them. They, you know, might be black or Asian or mixed or heritage or something, and people are thinking that those individuals aren't British people, and they are Puritans. And, you know, I'm not saying that their general view upon England as an Anglo-Saxon Caucasian sort of heritage, I do agree, you know, English should be English, and that's what it should be. But that doesn't, you could never ever justify to me disrespecting somebody by saying that because of their ethnicity, because of their genetics, yeah, they aren't English. When they were born and bred and went to the same school as me, they went to the same shop as me, they went through all the same stuff as we did as English people, but probably a lot more difficult for them because they never felt a part of it, and people like you made them not feel a part of it on purpose. You know, no wonder people rejected England and started going against England when nobody else is allowing them to be thought of as English. No matter how hard they try, they're always sticking out like a sore thumb in their lives. And now I understand a lot more about the world now, because I never really tolerated it, and I grew up in good areas where it was well mixed, and I went to Frankfurt and went to quite one of those very integrated schools. You didn't really experience that much racism, a little bit of racism, and But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the patriots are really giving people a reason to not listen to us by making it not a home for people who want to join us. How can somebody join a bunch of lads when they know that one or two of them don't like them? You can't do that. It's down to us to make sure that those sort of idiots, who at first opportunity want to use a racist slur about someone, or just think it's fun to be outspoken and just do things to other people. It's not funny, man. Racism is never required, man. It's never a man or gentleman thing to do, and it's nothing to do with me as an Englishman, I believe, in 2025. And I think the only way of solving this problem in England is to reach out, to the Asian community, because there's enough Asian, man. There's loads of black people, black men, and there's loads of, Polish and all different kind of communities out there that have come in the last 20 years, and whether you wanted them to be here or not, whatever, they love this place, and they want it to be the way it is when they arrived, and they can see the changes as well. But obviously, it's not in their interest, to join people who are basically, differentiating their genetics rather than their opinions. And I'm going to try and go out there and find these brave individuals from the other communities who are willing to say negative things about their community, and not just make it all about the white community or be defensive, and say, yes, there is a part to play of all communities in the UK for breaching the division. It's not always on England, it's not always on the government, it's not always on the English or the white people or the historical sins. It's not always upon us, to make the effort. And I would love to see somebody from each community come and talk to me each week about their issues in the news and represent all of our communities in Nottingham, and ask them what they really believe in and make them stand on what they believe in. Because I think that a lot of people have spent so much time pointing the finger at England, spent so much time holding England to its high standards and moral fibres and character, that they forget that we expect the same from them. And if we ask them to do the same, it would be nice if they did the same for us and gave us the benefit of the doubt and didn't judge us by our skin colour, and allowed us to do our practices and have our traditions without them or anybody else, being negative towards our culture and our ambitions, And especially it's for us to make sure that people want mass immigration, want mass, this is why I'm moving away from UK reformers, because they don't want to get rid of everybody who's come. I'm saying, unfortunately, anyone who's come illegally, I do believe should be immediately deported overnight, and there's loads of them, isn't there? Since about 1 million. So that's where I stand. Unless there's really strong evidence that they're going to be in serious danger or whatever. It's just a very difficult situation. I don't really want to send anybody home to wherever they came from, because it's probably not a nice place. I'd like them to stay here, if they are going to be all for England and not trying to bring a piece of their home here to the point where that's more important than getting along with us, is fighting a war that isn't here. They see us and they see America, they see us and they see an army, they see me in the street and they think that my life's live doing better because of their misery. And it only takes people a few years to realise that the English have got it the worst in England. And I hope that there's a few immigrants out there that really do understand that there's so many English people out there that are apologetic and trying to be nice, because they know that there's a lot of bad English out there. You may have met a lot of bad English people, but at the same time, how you deal with that negativity does not justify any actions or any words that would judge anybody else. And that's what we're seeing, you see, where it's okay for someone to not want white people in a space because of whatever they feel, and we're meant to be acceptable of that. But basically racism. And so I want people to admit that and not try and explain it as okay because of, you know, this and that and other. There's now a new movement called the global ethnic majority. So basically, the white race is in decline. We are in danger of, you know, losing our homelands as such to, you know, to foreign interests and foreign causes and foreign, you know, wars and foreign conflicts. And there is nowhere else like England on the planet, and that's all it is. I don't really mind what people are like, what colour they are, what race they are, if they follow the law and, you know, and they're not disrespecting anybody or purposely trying to, you know, or purposely making it their mission to shit all over England and leave litter everywhere and not give a fuck. But of course, people are saying, oh, they don't do it on purpose. It's just the way they are, from where they're from. That's fine. I've got no problem with people being, you know, having a learning curve with being in England. But our authorities should enforce the law equally. Okay, we all know what's happening with these money laundering fronts. We all know what's happening. But obviously, it's boosted our economy. That's the other side of it, you see. Every single one of these new migrants has boosted our economy, and no one can ever deny that, because our economy is built upon debt, basically. So when somebody arrives, they get, you know, national insurance, whatever they get, they become an asset to the country they can borrow on. So I'm very aware of all of the aspects of this situation, but what is not okay is for, you know, other cultures to take priority over our culture. And if we have any complaints about it, then we are basically destroyed. It's not fair. Everyone should be allowed to push their own agenda. Everyone should be allowed, as long as it's not against anybody else, we should be allowed to be proud of England. We should be allowed to be proud of who we are and what we want to happen in our country, you know. And that goes for all British citizens of all nationalities, you know, of all ethnicities. You know, we want to keep England, whatever that might be, because we know it's changed. Of course, it's changed. But like, America wouldn't be America without all the immigration. We love America, you know, for the different cultures, the Latino cultures, or, you know, the African American cultures, and, you know, and the Native Indians and the Italians and the Irish. We love all that. The Polish Americans, we love all of that, don't we? Even the, you know, Iranian Americans and stuff like that. We love the Americans, but we love the Americans because it's such a different place where everyone can express themselves and hate each other and say whatever they want and avoid each other if they want. Now we've got a point where there is nowhere on earth, yeah, in England, on this planet, that you would be able to segregate as a Caucasian and not allow anybody else to join you. You would be destroyed legally, financially. Whereas if you are any other ethnicity, you are allowed to discriminate against Caucasians. And now they're even putting it into law where the judges sentencing and the police are incentivized to throw away the key based upon factors that are immutable factors. I am fucking pissed. I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat something. As you can see, I'm rambling on really fast, but I need a coffee. I've had a lot of coffees today. Let's put it that way.